Welcome to another episode of the Sparkles of Gold Astrology Manifesto podcast. My name is Nicolas Polimanakos, a.k.a. Sparkles of Gold. Today we have another episode of 3 Questions with
Eric Purdue.
Hello, Eric. Just to let you know, Eric, you don't even know what the 3 questions are. I've done this with a bunch of people over the last 6 to 8 months. They didn't know what the questions were. And my podcast listeners, Patreon members, they know what the questions are. So are you ready for the first question?
I don't know.
And let's just say we're under some gentrified condo tower here in Seattle, like where it used to be.
Which is Seattle.
Which is Seattle now, yes. And so anyway, first question. Mm-hmm. What is your favorite astrological technique?
I'm going to say solar returns.
Mm-hmm. And why is that?
Because it tells you what's happening now. Natal charts tell you what your life as a whole is, and solar returns cut right to the, what's happening now or next year. Mm-hmm. In a very nice and concise way, I think.
Okay. And in the astrology world, which is fucking huge and broad, there's many ways people do solar returns. So a couple things to break it down, where do you cast the chart for the solar return?
On my couch.
Yeah, I think everyone's doing that these days. It seems to be the trend. Yeah.
I use the natal location.
Uh-huh. Okay. And is there a particular philosophy or certain astrologers from a certain time or era or that has that you were influenced by? Because there's different astrologers that have talked about solar returns. They do them in a different way. So,
I think in this case, Abu Mashar, which is, of course, pretty recent to us in the modern age. But he said something which has been on my mind for the last year or so, which is that you don't live your natal chart. Mm-hmm. You live the ongoing techniques.
Whoa. That was a bus.
Yes, that was a bus. You're living the ongoing techniques, such as things like solar returns and profections and primary directions, maybe transits and things like that. That's what you're actually experiencing in your life. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you spend so much time on your natal chart, and you kind of get, I think, hung up on the forest. Mm-hmm. Sometimes.
Understood. Thank you for answering the first question.
Jeez.
All right. Second question. One of my favorite questions, second question. What's your earliest memory connected to astrology?
I was at a neo-pagan festival, and they had 3 astrologers talk about the upcoming next 3 months, probably a spring equinox festival. And they told us such gems such as you need to be very careful over the next 3 months with your money.
Yeah.
This may be a time of change.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought astrology was pretty stupid.
Right. Yeah, because you just happened to catch those ways of hearing at a neo-pagan festival, but that could have been in a magazine coming.
Oh, it could have been anywhere.
Yeah,
and it was the 90s. It was a golden. Yeah. It was a golden time.
Yes. So that was your earliest memory. So in a sense, when did the earliest memory where it became like, oh, this is something, or this is serious business. This works, or I feel connected in some sort of way.
I think discovering horary astrology.
Okay, cool. And did you have a particular someone that you were influenced by, a teacher, anybody, a mentor, or someone's book that you eventually found or encountered that?
I think a conversation with Christopher Warnock.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Got me started, and then I started reading William Lilly, and that put me down a rabbit hole.
Got you. Okay, cool. All right. Thanks for answering the second question.
Yes. This was at least 12.
Yeah, it's sort of like that. Sometimes I have to ask more to just get a little bit more meat, And I'm trying to... Oh, okay, now I remember the third.
Yes.
All right. What's a book you're reading right now that has nothing to do with astrology?
I've been working my way through the Dark Tower series by Stephen King.
Uh-huh. Okay, cool.
I'm on book 3.
Book 3.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, bonus question that's
Yes.
related to this. When you were young, whenever this is, was there a particular piece of literature or a book that, like, took you out in a good way, where it hit your heart and your dreams and it brought you somewhere that completely just, like, rocked your world, like, changed the way, maybe you started to view the world, Was there a particular book?
It was a TV show.
Oh, okay.
It was I want to bring out my nerd. The Claudius series that came out in the 70s. PBS.
Uh-huh.
I didn't necessarily understand what was going on.
Yeah.
But I think that probably got me started in my weird ways.
Right. I remember the intro to that, like the artwork and the intro. And
with the snake.
With the snake, yeah.
Yes.
I totally remember that. We're dating ourselves now, but I'm sure it's up on YouTube. Somebody's going to look this up.
I was a perfect age when it came out. I was 6.
Yeah. You're just like open and ready, and here comes the snake.
I loved it.
I
loved it.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for answering the third question and bonus question. Eric, where can people find out more about you?
My website, ericpurdue.com. Mm-hmm. And my translation of 3 books of occult philosophy in fine bookstores everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and the publisher of that book is, again, it's
Inner Traditions.
Inner Traditions. They got a great website. If anybody wants to sign up for their newsletter, they have coupon codes. They always got something good going on. Inner Traditions. Eric, thank you.
Go to Inner Traditions and not Amazon.
Yes, for sure. No. And
seriously.
Totally. Yeah. And there's just a huge library. That website's got so much. And a lot of people still don't know about it, I think.
And they have customer service.
They do. They have, and real people. Hey, Eric, thanks for going on the fly and being on the podcast, dude.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, everyone.